All right, y'all, I'm back with my move from Wisconsin to Las Vegas. So, yep, we had packed that Relo queue from the top to the bottom. We only did use one Relo queue, but like I say, it's good that they bring you out two, just in case you have more than you think. But yep, and a good thing about it is they do not come and get it that they give you 3 days to pack it, but I did not realize that you did have to call to get like once you get done, they are expecting you to call them. So that was good just in case you need more. So anyways, we set off that Monday and we made it to Wisconsin Dells. That was our first stop. That's Quick Trip, my favorite spot. And then we got to the hotel, and that's Pooh and Corn. And we had to get ready because we was going to the water park, the indoor water park at the Kalahari. And that's G&B. He stayed in the hotel. But yeah, so the indoor water park was fun. It had the lazy river and the wave pool. They had hot tubs. It was pretty big, with a lot of rides, like water rides. I don't get on those though. But so I did almost drown in that wave pool, cause the water done knocked off my glasses and stuff. But that's Gino that night sleeping with me in the bed at the hotel, and then we settled down that night to watch SpongeBob. The next day we went to the Tomfoolery Adventure Park. Now that park is fun. It's huge with so many activities to do, and I feel like it's very affordable. Me and Pooh had got into the illusion thing, and yes, we were stuck. It was a maze, and thankfully Corn Pop stayed out, so we kind of followed his voice and his face that we could see in the mirror, and that is how we got out, because yes, we were really stuck and it was so scary. I did not think that we were gonna make it out. And then we had our food there. It was very cheap, very affordable. And then that night when we left the water park, we went to the rooftop of the hotel, got by the fire pit, and just settled down because we were leaving the next morning, and our next stop was Omaha, Nebraska. So we made it to the hotel in Omaha. That's our hotel room in Omaha. And the next day we went to the zoo, the Omaha Zoo. So the Omaha Zoo is really big, and this is like a dome, and it has birds inside of it. And when I say climate control up in there, because it was hot, like very very hot, and you know, with the different types of birds and things like that they did keep the temperature in the habitats very nice for them. That's the snakes. Pooh likes snakes. I do not like snakes, but she likes snakes. So we had to go to the reptile cage because I like lizards. I like bearded dragons particularly. So yep, that was nice to see the different reptiles. And then we, like, it was so big, we like was still like in the desert part where the like reptiles was at, and it was like a cave or whatever, and that's Pooh, she in the cave. And then we're gonna go by a whole bunch of snakes, so it was like count like how many snakes. I think I ended up counting like 5 or 6 snakes. And then we're going into another cave, which was very, very dark. Very, very dark and swampy. And, okay, nope, that wasn't the swampy one. That was where we went, where it was like red light for nocturnal animals, and that was really nice. We got to see them. As you can see, the bats is flying around like crazy. It was a couple of dark ones, so if I'm mistaken one for another habitat, that's why. Now we in the swamp, I do believe, and I think we was looking for like a frog or something, and so the habitats was very very dark, as you can see. And we're gonna see like a white crocodile, and it was tall. That was like the top of where we was at, so it really did make it seem like we were in a cave. I don't even remember what that was. It was something that was dancing. But yeah, so that's how dark it was in there. Like I really wasn't able to get good pictures. But that's the alligator in the corner, and that's the white crocodile, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's the beavers. They're so cute. But it was really dark and kind of a little bit scary because it did seem like we was in the swamp for real. Then we got out, went to go see the giraffes, and I of course fed the giraffes. I only fed them one branch. That's all they. That was a little cheap. With the giraffes, and then we went to see the elephants because the elephant habitat was near it. And I can say that it is. I thought we was going to see more animals, which I feel like they had a good amount of animals, and that's the fishies. But they really had really big habitats. That's what made the zoo so large. Is the huge habitats. And that is the zebras. The zebra habitat was humongous. This is the lions over there. They chilling. They not about to be up against no windows or nothing. They like they stay far away. They so big and pretty. And then the kids got to take pictures on different little vintage rides and stuff like that, like as if we was on a safari. So that was fun. That was somebody's kid in the background. They didn't want to get up, so they was they was in the picture. And then we saw the zebras, and then the flamingos is coming up next. When I say I had so much footage of these flamingos because they was acting up, but I did not put them all in. Them flamingos was fighting more of the time. And those are the monkeys. That's the gorilla. He laying down. Them gorillas did not want to socialize with nobody. Them gorillas was like, They was turning their face like, And this them riding on the carousel. And then this is the end. We went by the fishies again and went home. We went back to the hotel. And yeah.